Hello, and welcome to another episode of Downright Fierce Gaming, Denmark's most Ned Hoi Ah Ho podcast. I probably said that wrong. My name is Josh Asensio. With me is nobody, because apparently people don't game in Denmark. I learned something interesting. I said that I wanted... Let me move with that. I said I wanted to, you know, when I'm doing this whole honeymoon thing, to go to different countries and, you know, kind of find gamers out there. And the one thing I've noticed since I left the United States, I'm not really seeing any video game stores. Haven't seen one. I've seen tabletop stores and comic book stores, but I haven't seen any video game stores. So I'm kind of thinking that gaming isn't as big over here as it is in the United States. Now, I'm not saying obviously that there's no gamers. In fact, one of the things that I do, and my wife does as well, that is a little bit whatever, is we still play Pokemon Go. And there's still a lot of those people around here, but not so much like, I don't know, console gamers, I guess. Not really seeing anything like that. Anyways, it is, what time is it here? It is 9 at night here in Denmark, and it is 3 p.m. back home, and my wife in chat says Pokemon Go is awesome. Mark Mayfield more appropriately says nerd. Yes, there you go. It's like, because you have, there's different tiers of nerdom. I feel like we're at the top tier, mostly because not only do we enjoy Pokemon Go, we D&D, play video games. Well, I play more video games. You play a little bit of video games, and we shake tables so the camera moves really weird. That's what we do. Oh, and I have a podcast about video games. Anyways, let's get to the news because there is so much to cover, and I still have a little bit of jet lag. Yeah. Also, I apologize for the delay. Normally we do it Sundays at 8:30, or Sundays. We normally do it Sundays. Something came up yesterday. Wasn't able to do it. I'm going to cough. All right, let's move on to Fierce News. Fierce News is, of course, brought to you by MC Lars. Check out his Patreon page at patreon.com/MCLars. And I believe he's actually going on another tour now. It's a bunch of cool stuff you can find on his Patreon page. Make sure to back him. And if you have leftover monies, then back us, you know, if you want. So the first thing is Game Awards. Now, last week I made a bunch of predictions about the Game Awards, who I thought was going to win, who I thought was going to not win, who my choices were. And it turns out that I was kind of spot on. But some of these, I don't know. Let's start with the first one. The first one, of course, is Game of the Year, big award. My prediction was that it was going to be Red Dead 2. I would have been okay if it was Spider-Man. And I'm not saying that this isn't the correct answer, but the winner was God of War. Now, God of War, 10 out of 10, amazing experience, completely turned the entire series around. I'll give it that. But over Red Dead? Really? Really? I mean, I also get it that Red Dead is not every gamer's game. But if we're saying, because I mean, with each game, you're comparing apples and oranges already. And it's kind of hard to compare. How do you compare Red Dead to Dead Cells? That was actually one I said for another one. How do you compare the two? You can't really, because it's two completely different games. Now, Mark's saying not Game of the Year worthy. I'm not sure which one you were talking about. If you're saying Red Dead or God of War. God of War is an amazing experience. The story is fantastic. This is the first time that I explored all the lore in the game, and I wanted to learn everything about the characters, and I even dug in a little bit after the game, just, you know, look for things that I missed. That's a pretty awesome experience, but Red Dead 2 is revolutionized gaming. I know that sounds like I'm blowing it way out of proportion, but really think about it. Like, really dissect the tiny little things in Red Dead 2. It has created gaming moments that I've never experienced before. And I mean, you know, you look back in time to all the games that you could say similar things to, you know, Grand Theft Auto 3, you know, or Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. You know, the first time you step out into Hyrule and you're looking around like, oh, so I could just go anywhere. You know, moments like that. That's what I felt with Red Dead 2. With God of War, I'm looking at that as an experience where it's like, this is incredible. Everything is amazing. But I've been here before. Oh, it's all one shot? That's cool. I've been here before, though. This is amazing. but it's comfortable, you know? So Mark Mayfield was saying God of War, at least in comparison to those two. Okay, so yeah. Red Dead 2, that's fair to say. They put in the work. And that's another thing, Mark. I mean, when you compare the amount of money and effort and energy, you know, and budget into a game, I mean, it's almost unfair to hold anything against Red Dead 2. That's why other games moved out of the way of their launch. I'm just a little surprised. I'm not disappointed because God of War was an insanely amazing game, but okay. The next one was Best Action Game. So the prediction I made was for Destiny 2 Forsaken, only because of how many amazing things I heard about that game. I heard that it was, you know, that it's the Iron Will or the Iron Clan or something. It was the equivalent of the expansion that made Destiny 1 so great, and that it was even better than that. So that's why I said Destiny 2 Forsaken. I haven't played it personally. I was saying Dead Cells. And I wish I went with my gut because Dead Cells won Best Action Game, which is awesome. To see a little side-scroller like that, a little indie game, which I don't even know how indie it is. It looks indie. It's probably not indie. But still, a little game like that to go up against these 3D shooters that are way more popular. So many people haven't played Dead Cells. And for it to get that kind of exposure, fantastic. Totally happy it won. A little bit upset I didn't predict that was going to win because then I could have gotten an extra point. Speaking of extra points, moving on to Best Action/Adventure Game. My prediction was God of War, and the winner was God of War. Hell yeah, dude. You want to talk about adventure? That is like the best adventure game to come out this year. It was fantastic. I already said how much I love God of War. That's 1 point. So I get 1 point for that one. That's one correct one. The next one was Best Role-Playing Game. I don't know how I feel about this one. My prediction was Ni no Kuni 2. I didn't play Ni no Kuni 2, but I heard that it was a fantastic role-playing game. The winner, and I forgot what the other nominations were, but the winner was Monster Hunter World. Which, okay, it's a role-playing game, yes. Even more so than probably Ni no Kuni 2 because you're not playing, from what I understand, you're not playing a specific character. Hey, Carolina, she says, hi, Josh in chat. How are you? Good to see you. So you're playing basically a blank slate. So when you want to break down a role-playing game, you really are getting into that role. So I get that. That would be, I guess, more role-playing than a game where you're playing as a character. But we understand role-playing RPGs as, you know, a system where hey, sorry, I'm going to go completely ADD this entire podcast. And say hi to people in chat. Jacob Alexander Plick III says bidet to you, sir. And it is late over here, so I'm not going to do a loud Duval, but I'll do a little quiet Duval. I'm going to do it like ASMR and Duval. That creeped me out. Let's just pretend I didn't do that. Mark Mayfield says absolutely. Monster Hunter World is fantastic, and that's the thing. I'm definitely not going to take that away from the game. But when you think RPG, I don't know about you guys. I think more, you know, in like exploration, and you know, even if it's linear exploration, you know, take Final Fantasy for instance. You're going through dungeons. You're exploring. It's an adventure, you know. RPG, I think is synonymous, in my mind, is synonymous with adventure. And I'm not saying you don't get that in Monster Hunter World, but you're hopping around between these little hubs, and it just doesn't feel necessarily like as much of an RPG as some of the other ones on the list. It is a fantastic game, though. So, and Mark Mayfield says, I'm wearing headphones. That was an experience. Jacob Alexander Plick III says, Duval. Seriously, I don't want to piss off neighbors. To you as well. Also, I am jet lagged, so quiet is fine. Yeah. Jet lag's fucked, isn't it? It's crazy. Like, it's 3 p.m. there. It's 9 p.m. here. I don't know. It's crazy. Jacob says, I guess we couldn't pick Witcher 3 again. Nonsense, sir. We should be able to pick games throughout time. No, that'd be crazy. All right, so moving on. The next one was Best Game Direction. My prediction was Red Dead 2. I argued for that one yesterday, going into the details about, like, with game direction, you know, it's somebody who's I understand it's not just one mastermind, but to do all the things they did with Red Dead as far as following a central idea of what a game should be, I think that Red Dead 2 should have won. God of War won. I'll give that to them, actually. I would say that God of War did have a fantastic game direction. The one-shot camera was really, really cool. The way that they, you know, told the story, the gameplay, I mean, just throwing that axe and then that sound of it, you know, hitting as it came back, it was fantastic. So, okay, yeah, I'll give it God of War. I didn't get any points with that one. Best narrative, I said God of War. I have no idea how Red Dead Redemption 2 won that one. Are you kidding me? Best narrative? Dude, what narrative? Like, the whole I mean, maybe I haven't beaten Red Dead 2, so maybe at the end it gets crazy, but from what I understand, the game is mostly just like, hey, we're going to put you in this world and you kind of make your own narrative and you kind of like tell your own story while going through the, you know, story of this guy. So, I mean, it seems a little bit too open-ended. Like, you're making your own story. You're creating your own experience. God of War had an insanely amazing narrative. How that one lost, I have no idea. Next one was best ongoing game. My prediction I wrote here, emphatically Fortnite. Obviously Fortnite. And hence, yes, winner was Fortnite. That would be 2. And yeah, Mark Mayfield says it perfectly. Red Dead 2 has a narrative. Maybe spanking horses is part of the greater plan that they wanted to include in the narrative. I don't know. That's all I do in that game. So, yeah. But yeah, obviously Fortnite won. And was that 2 twos or is that... No, that's just my second point. Okay. All right, best art direction. So this was the debate I was talking about. Comparing... Because one of the things... the two games that I was stuck between was Red Dead and Octopath Traveler for best art direction. That's what I was saying earlier. How do you compare the two? As far as art goes. I mean, Red Dead, you have extremely realistic graphics. Octopath Traveler, obviously the complete opposite, but is way more artistic. It's way more beautiful. So I didn't know, I think either Red Dead or Octopath Traveler is going to win. And then the winner was Return of Obra Dinn. I don't know anything about that game. I probably should have looked it up before I did this episode. I didn't, but I bet it's really pretty. Moving on. Best score / music. I said Spider-Man. I think I let my personal bias get to me when it came to... Oh, first of all, the winner was Red Dead Redemption 2, which, yeah, I'll give it to him. It was pretty awesome. The dynamic music was very, very subtle and very effective, I would say. So that's fair. But Spider-Man also had very dynamic music that would change, you know, according to whatever you're doing. You're swinging, you're fighting, you're doing whatever. I guess it's just because it really made me feel like I was in a Marvel movie. Like, that feeling that the music gave me was more impactful than Red Dead Redemption 2. I guess I can see how Red Dead Redemption 2 had higher quality music and a better score, but that Spider-Man track, like, when you start swinging and the little trumpets come, I can't do it, obviously, but you know what I'm trying to do. So I guess it was just a personal thing. Yeah, did not get a point for that one. Best audio design. I predicted Forza Horizon 4 because it just seems like I said it was because it just seems like something that would happen. I wasn't right. I personally chose God of War, though. Like, I was going to predict Forza Horizon 4 because it sounds like it could happen. But I chose God of War, and no, Red Dead Redemption 2. I guess. Best independent game. So I didn't know any of these games, so I just picked a random game. I liked the name. It was Celeste. This game Celeste that I've never heard of, and it's so weird that that's the game that won. Huh? Wait, no. Skylar showed me that game. That's why it was in my head. It's because Skylar, a buddy of mine on the west coast of Florida, he was the one who told me about Celeste. That's it. So that's 3 points I got. Best performance. This one is fucked. My prediction. Christopher Judge's Kratos. Come on. Dude, that voice. And I was also at first I was debating between whoever is Peter Parker, I forgot his name, because it was a really awesome, like subtle, kind of very realistic Spider-Man. But Christopher Judge, the emotional, like, and it's so subtle too. The slight emotional changes throughout from the beginning of the game to the end of the game, because that's the thing, you can't go to extremes in basically a day. You know, you're not going to change personalities in a day. You just see him get ever so softer. I think that's correct. He's a little softer by the end of that because of his son. And that is incredible to convey that only with your voice. Christopher Judge. Now, Jacob's saying Yuri Lowenthal should have won as Spider-Man. I mean, I was torn. I was torn between the two. I totally was. But I still think that it should have been Christopher Judge. Roger Clark is Arthur Morgan. Well, I reckon I'm going to go for a walk and maybe have some coffee. Nah, I don't think that it's going to take too kindly to you shooting him in the forehead like that. I think you best apologize. Where's the character? Like, he's likable, don't get me wrong, but that's just writing. I mean, that's also a little bit of performance, but he's a very likable outlaw, and that's hard to portray. Sure, I'll give you that. But over Christopher Judge, over Yuri Lowenthal, bruh. Come on. Bullshit. Moving on, games for Impact. Again, just went with a Celeste game. I don't know. It felt right. And that's the one who won. So that's 4. 4 correct predictions. Best mobile game. I only really heard of Fortnite and PUBG, so I went PUBG, and the winner was Florence. I don't know much about that one. Florence. It won. Best VR/AR game. I said Tetris Effect only because, again, all the things I heard about it. The winner, which is actually surprising, was Astrobot Rescue Mission. So I've heard about this game, and it has this weird thing where it got average reviews. It got like around 7s, which is still good. That's still a good score. But the people who play it are like obsessed with it and talk about it a lot. I haven't played it, so I have no personal like thing in this, but so I guess. Okay, cool. Mark Mayfield says Diablo Immortal next year. Hey, for best mobile, maybe, or no, Blades. Blades is coming out this year. Elder Scrolls Blades. No, it got pushed to next year. I bet you Blades will win over Diablo Immortal. All right, let's see. Best fighting game. I wanted it to be Soul Calibur, but I predicted Dragon Ball Fighter Z, and the winner is Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Fuck yeah, it's a fantastic game. If you like fighting games at all, you got to pick it up. And if you don't even like them, it's at least worth renting. It really is. It's a fun one. So that's 5. And best family game, I predicted Overcooked 2. The answer, or the winner, Overcooked 2. Hell yeah, that's 6. That's 6, son. Best sports/racing game, Forza Horizon 4. Guess what I said? That's what I said. Guess what won? Forza Horizon 4. That's 7. Best multiplayer game, that was a freebie. Fortnite, I predicted. The winner was Fortnite. That's 8. Best student game. I didn't know what that was. I didn't bother looking him up. I'm like, I don't know what best student game. What the hell is a student game? So I didn't make a prediction, but Combat 2018 won. That's cool. Mark Mayfield says Blades for sure, no troll. Seriously, I'm actually really excited to play Blades. And then my wife says somebody needs to play Overcooked with me since Josh won't play with me anymore. I get along so fantastically with my wife. Like, she is, my best friend. We hang out, we play video games together. We've gone, we're overseas now. Like, we're traveling the world. We've been traveling for almost an entire month now. And that's very stressful. And just all these things, and we don't fight, we don't do anything like that. But when we play Overcooked, I turn into a different person. I don't like the man I turn into. I guess I just can't tolerate people who suck at video games. I don't know. She's over there. I'm just messing with her. But no, that game will make you fight with people. And no. I don't know a single person in the entire world I could play that with and not fight with. Can't think of anybody. So that's why I don't play Overcooked. But she loves it. She loves it. Best debut indie game. I predicted The Messenger because everybody's talking about how great it is, even though I didn't think it was that great at all. Didn't think it was good. But hey, I was right. It was the winner. That makes 9 points. Next one was the best esports game. So this one, I'm a little shocked at. My prediction was League of Legends. I personally said Overwatch because I love watching Overwatch way more than I like watching League. But I figured, I'm like, how do you compare with esports and League? I mean, it's just, they have entire things of it, the like stadium filled events and esport events. And it's all the big, clicks per minute and all that. Overwatch won. Huh. Kind of wish I could take that credit, but no. Okay, content creator of the year. The only one I knew, Ninja, because he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. So, of course, yeah, he won. That's 10. And now, here's the thing. Apparently, when I was doing the research before the Game Awards, I missed a category. Did not see it. Really upset because I definitely would have gotten a point with this one. It was Best Strategy Game. The nominees were Battletech, Frostpunk, Into the Breach, The Banner Saga 3, and Valkyria Chronicles 4. I would have said Into the Breach. There's no way. I mean, like, immediately, Into the Breach. Fantastic game. I have been hooked on this game. I stopped playing Smash Bros. To play Into the Breach. It's an amazing game. And you want to talk about strategy? It is the perfect kind of strategy. Like, because I like simple strategy. I like strategy, but you're only worried about 3 pieces that you're moving around. And that doesn't sound very deep, but it surprisingly is. And if you haven't checked out Into the Breach, you need to get on it because it is an amazing game. Into the Breach and Into the Breach won. So I'm going to take that as a half credit. I'll take that as 0.5. So the total out of all 23 predictions I made, actually, I guess that would make it 24. That would make it 24. Well, I don't want to redo the math, so let's pretend it was 23. It would be 10.5 correct, and that's a 46%, which, yes, in school isn't very good, but, it's not bad for making predictions, especially with some of those. I don't know. Okay, so we got to keep things moving because we got a lot to cover. Moving on to the most important part of the Game Awards, the announcements. Yes, the first one is so cool. Marvel fucking Ultimate fucking Alliance fucking 3 fucking Black fucking Order. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 Black Order is coming in 2019, and it is a Switch exclusive. Oh my god. Dude. This is the game. This game is Batman. No. This game is... I don't know how to describe it. This game is the game that we didn't know we needed, Switch owners. Like that Switch owners didn't know we needed. And then you announce this and it's just like, oh, yes, you're right. That would make my life complete. And it doesn't look like a giant leap from the old games. It really doesn't. And that's okay. I feel like that's fine because it's just I don't even look at the Switch as a home console. I really don't. I look at it as a mobile console, and to play that on the go, you go to a bar and you freaking throw a controller to one of your friends, like, hey, you play Deadpool, I'll play, fucking Rocket Raccoon. Like, dude. Now we have Switch. We got Switch. We got Smash. We got Diablo 3. And multiple Marvel. Oh my god, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. This is gonna be next year is gonna be a great year for the Switch. And I just remembered something I was gonna do. Give me a second. Hold on. 1 second. Wait. I really hope you don't see me in my underwear. Because I totally am. For the audio listeners, I just grabbed a Carlsberg Nordic Ale that the previous tenants of this Airbnb were so gracious to leave me. And I'm going to drink. Oh my God, really? No. I'm looking at the alcohol content. Am I reading this right? 0.5% alcohol? That's like nothing. Man. This better taste good. Alright, let's try this. Oh, is that? Okay. Oh, that's damn good. That's worth it. Okay. I have beer now. Still, okay. So, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 coming in 2019. Super excited. Moving on to another completely shocking. If you said you were going to predict this, I'd slap you in the face and call you a liar. Because, no. Really? But it turns out it's kind of cool. A new Far Cry game. Not just an expansion. It's not Blood Dragon. It's basically, it's like what they did with Far Cry, what was it, 4? Yeah, how 4 came out so close to 3 that it was basically reskinning and all that. There's a new Far Cry game coming out, and I really like what they're doing with this one. Surprisingly. Like, if you told me, hey, there's a new Far Cry game coming out, I'm like, no, I'm good. I got my fill. Give me a couple of years and I'll be ready for another one. Okay, so first off, this takes place after the events. Mark Mayfield, you say you're calling it? I'm going to slap you in the face and call you a liar, sir. This takes place after the events of Far Cry 5. If you don't want to know how Far Cry 5 ends, you need to fast forward probably a minute, probably 2, I don't know, or mute if you're watching live, because I'm going to go into spoilers of how Far Cry 5 ends, because it's kind of important to talk about. So I'm going to give you a second while I'm talking, and then I'm going to drink some of this beer, and then we're going to go into the spoilers. So, man, Carlsberg is fucking awesome. This is really good. And apparently really weak. So, okay, so if it's 0, it says 0.5, which I know they use commas instead of periods. 0.5% percent volume. Alk. That's 0.5%. That's so low. Don't we have like 5%? Isn't that how we do things? Okay. Hopefully, if you did not... Oh, hopefully you muted me, or hopefully you fast forward or whatever. Okay, so at the end of Far Cry 5, the main villain sets off a nuclear bomb. Now, you don't know where... I mean, you know it happened close to where you are in Montana, but you don't know the scope of it. You don't know if it happened in the entire U.S. You don't know if it happened all around Montana or, you know, in the strategic parts of the world. You don't know. You just know nuclear bomb goes off and you get to like a shelter or whatever, and then you're stuck in there with the main villain of the first one, and it's like whatever. Now, Far Cry as a series is kind of on the verge of getting stale if it hasn't already reached that point. Far Cry 3, actually, I would say the first Far Cry is fantastic. Second one is amazing too. But 3 really brought it forward into like the current generation games. And then 4 was lacking because it was basically reskin 3 and trying to rehash all the cool things that made 3 amazing. And it failed. It was a good game, but it failed. So then they tried to experiment with Far Cry Primal. This game sounds like it's going to be kind of like a Far Cry Primal type of thing. In the sense that it's a new game wrapped up in old stuff. I'm getting off topic. Anyways, so Far Cry 5 pushed the envelope even further. Now it's taking place in the United States. Now it's less exotic while maintaining that wilderness kind of feel to it. There's not too many other places to go. Where else are you going to go? You can go, yeah, maybe to like Alaska or like Serbia or someplace where it's like or Iceland or someplace where it's like snowing all the time and it's just really cold, and now you got to But actually, no, they already did that with 4. Okay, so you can't do the cold thing. Desert, maybe. That's kind of boring. There's only so many like environments that you can go to. So Far Cry 5 is on the verge of being stale, if not already reached that point. This game takes place after a nuclear bomb goes off. This is a post-apocalyptic world. We don't know the scope because it could still be happening during the Montana. It could only be happening in Montana, or it could be happening all around the world. Regardless, the story definitely feels post-apocalyptic. It is post-apocalyptic. I mean, like it's these like bands of people, and they're scavenging for supplies, and they're just trying to live after a nuclear bomb goes off. I think it even takes place years and years and years after the first game. Maybe, I don't know, I could be making that up. Anyways, this is awesome. This is just the slight little change they needed to still keep things Far Cry, because you're not changing the formula that much. You're just changing the environment, and they can get a little bit silly with it. They did the sci-fi thing with Blood Dragon, which was a lot of fun, but I don't think that could be a launching off point for the rest of the series. I don't think they could just go all sci-fi, but if you go post-apocalyptic, you still have the survival aspect. You still have the hunting and gathering and grinding and stuff, the base capturing. You still have all of those elements in a post-apocalyptic world where you can do virtually anything, because now you're outside of the realm of reality. And especially the fact that Far Cry usually is about the insanity of humans. You want to talk about insane people, the world just blew up. People go crazy. That's amazing. What I want to see is, I want to see at the very end of Far Cry, what is it called? Oh my god, I never wrote it down. This Far Cry, it's not Far Cry 6, it's Far Cry something. What I want to see at the end of that is basically the revelation that everybody thinks it happened in Montana, that it's only exclusive to Montana, and then at the end it's like, oh wait, no, this happened all around the world. Oh god. Yeah, when the bombs went off here, they thought it was China, so then China's launching their nukes, and everybody launched the nukes, the entire world is gone. And then the next game takes place in some Mad Maxian Borderlands kind of deal. Come on! Dude. That would be amazing. That needs to happen. Okay. And then the 2 main villains are the most badass women villains I've seen in a game in a while. Like, they look so cool. They look really cool. Look up the trailer. It's definitely worth checking out. Next announcement is Bastion and Pyre developers Supergiant announced a roguelike dungeon crawler called Hades that is available now on the Epic Games Store. So, not my kind of game. I'm wondering, though... I'm wondering how many developers are starting to kind of take to Epic's new store, because they're trying to compete with Steam, and they're doing it in like, okay, so I know the second I said trying to compete with Steam, probably Mark, probably, some other people out there are like, competing with Steam, that's cute. Yeah, you're not going to compete against Steam. Steam is a giant behemoth, okay? I get that, I do, but let us not forget how Microsoft was and it seemed in the 90s and 2000s. Microsoft, the company that got sued for or not sued, but the whatever for, what is that called? Monopoly. They were like a monopoly and they got sued. Now, PCs, and PCs are better, of course, between the two, but now PCs aren't the only computers that people are buying. You have a lot of Mac people. So I'm not saying that Mac took over Microsoft, but there's a second contender. There are 2 options that most people know when it comes to buying a personal computer. You can go with a Windows-based PC, or you can go with a Mac. That's what I think is going to happen here. I think Steam is still going to be the Microsoft. It's still going to be the giant that we know in our comfort zone, whatever. But then you have the people who are like, oh no, man, I don't buy games on Steam. I mean, you could get the exact same game on Epic's, whatever it's called, the Epic's Game Store. And you know what? They give more. Actually, that is the one thing. They give more to their developers than Steam does. And personally, I just personally like supporting developers more. Do you hate developers? Man, Steam's like this big corporation, man. You gotta fight the corporations. That is one thing that Epic does have going for it, is their image. Now Steam kind of looks like this money hungry things. Actually, I have the percentage right here. The Epic Store only takes 22% of the profit from the store. Steam takes between 30 and 40%. That's kind of an easy fix, though, for Steam, although that would cost them a fuck ton of money and might not even be worth it because most people wouldn't know. They are playing it smart, though. Epic, they as a sort of bribe to get people to check out the store, they're going to be giving away free games every 2 weeks. That's smart. It's a smart move. The first games, I don't know if it's the first ones, but currently it's Subnautica, which is an amazing game. If you don't have Subnautica, like, get it. It's really good. And Super Meat Boy. Unfortunately for me, I own both of those games, so there's no reason for me to check it out, but we'll see next week. Now, moving on, the next one, okay, so I'm just going to read this exactly as I wrote it. The next one, everyone who pays attention to these things should have seen coming, but not too many people predicted, Crash Team Racing. What? It's getting a remake. That's so cool. And totally, like, should have seen that coming. The second they remade the Crash games and the second they sold so well, that should have been the... Actually, I think I did predict that. I think I did say that they need to bring that back. Or maybe Tristan did. Anyways, it's getting a remake. It's called Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. It comes out June 22nd to PS4, Xbox One, and hell yeah, finger guns, the Switch. I remember this one. I haven't played it in forever. I don't know. Like, I haven't played it since it was relevant, so I don't know how it's going to hold up to Mario Kart, but I'm looking forward to the nostalgic, like, you know, revisit. I'm looking forward to hitting that nostalgic nerve or chord or whatever. It's going to be cool. All right. Oh, y'all. I need to take a sip of beer for this one. That is the unfortunate thing, and something I did not think about when I grabbed this beer. I don't have a co-host, so I don't have a second to just take a sip of beer. God damn it. I will take one after every news story. That's what I'll do. Okay. So, I made a prediction that Obsidian's new game was going to be Fallout in space. I said it should be called Fallout Space Force. Turns out I was kind of right and kind of wrong. It is the best possible scenario, though. It is a brand new IP with the feeling of an older one. So it's called The Outer Worlds. From the trailer, it looks like it blends the humor of Borderlands with the gameplay of Fallout. How awesome does that sound? This is an exciting week for news. I'm just saying. It's going to be a first-person shooter with RPG elements. It basically, like, the way it looks like it's going to be Borderlands, but with Fallout graphics and Fallout gameplay. That's awesome. That's so cool. I'm so excited to play. And maybe actually it looks like a little hint of BioShock in there. A little dash of BioShock. But it looks funny as hell. It's coming out 2019, and I really want to play it so bad. The next one is Hello Games is making a new game called The Last Campfire. It is being called Hello Game. Oh, so the game is called The Last Campfire, but it's being called a Hello Games short. So kind of, it looks like they're going the route of like Journey and Flower, like a single session game experience. And they're calling them shorts. That's cool. I like that. Although it's kind of an odd thing for them to work on after No Man's Sky. Like, I'm wondering that maybe they needed to let some time pass before they make another AAA game. Kind of let the No Man's Sky, like, you can't really be like, from the team who brought you No Man's Sky. Like, oh, I remember what you did. You know, maybe they come out with these shorts, or maybe this is the new direction that we're going to see from them. Maybe they're no longer a AAA studio. I mean, technically No Man's Sky was more indie, I think. I don't know. They were a smaller studio and they made No Man's Sky. Maybe that's like their future now. Maybe they just make these little Hello Game shorts. And then they get enough Hello Game shorts out there that people are like, oh, yeah, freaking, and I forgot their name already. Hello Games. I said the fucking name. Hello Games. Yeah, they're a great studio. They're fantastic. Oh, they're coming out with another giant game. Awesome. No Man's Sky what? Which apparently No Man's Sky is good now. I think I was the one who said that. Time for a sip. Okay, moving on. PUBG is getting a winter map in January. You hear that? That's the sound of nobody caring. Moving on. Here's an interesting one. The studio Wildcard, developer of Ark, announced a new game, Atlas. So if you haven't seen the trailer and you're listening to this as an audio thing, or you are watching the video on demand later, pause. Just pause and look up the trailer to Atlas. I'll give you a second. Okay. You're back. Holy shit. No. What? No. Or probably some of the words that you said. This looks like the most ambitious, insane game in the entire universe. I've never seen so many things packed into one game. They have fucking dragons, pirates, ships with crews that you could team up with, like in Sea of Thieves. Like you get your friends and you all have to pilot a ship, and you have to get one person to do the sails and the other person to do marketing. It's and there's cannons firing, and there's guns, and there's swordplay, and there's mythical beasts, and there's castles, and you're tearing down each other's castles, and you're building, and you're... What the fuck? And on top of that, it doesn't say it in the trailer, it's going to be 12... Not 12 times. 12,000 times the size of an Ark server. 12,000 times the size of an Ark server. Those aren't small maps. Even if they are, let's say it was the size of a GoldenEye map. 12,000 times the size of a GoldenEye map. Imagine that for a second. How are you making this game? What? That doesn't even seem possible. You were lying or something. Like, I have no idea how they're going to pull this off. Even with the success of Ark, which every time I check the Steam store is like top selling Steam games list. So yeah, they made a fuck ton of money off of that. But Jesus. Okay, so let's say they do it. Let's say they pull it off, okay? How do you balance all of those gameplay mechanics? It's one thing for something like Ark, where you have training, you train the dinosaurs, you have building, you have the Minecraft part of that, you have the combat, and you have flight, and you have underwater stuff, and rideable mounts, and ships, light ship stuff. Like, it's basically moving around on the water. That's 7 things. This game it has like 20 different gameplay mechanics. There was a fucking catapult at one point. No, dude. How do you balance all that? So here's what I'm thinking. 1, this game comes out in like 20 years. This game comes out forever from now, when we look back and we're like, yeah, well, why couldn't you do that in a game? Obviously, you could do that in games. Like, we've come so far. Or it never comes out. It's just this big, overly ambitious game that they just couldn't make work, and it just never came out. Or it comes out and it is a huge letdown, like No Man's Sky, but way worse because it's just a buggy mess that just doesn't work and tries to do too many things and just falls flat, I can't imagine a world where this game comes out and does all the things it's promising to do. That's the thing. To do all the things it's showing you can do in that trailer. No, dude, no. You lying. You lying. I'm drinking. Goddamn liar. All right, moving on. Ashen, a game that was first announced in 2014, is out now on Xbox and PC. So I don't know much about it, but appears to be a Dark Souls game, Dark Souls-like game that is getting decent reviews. It's also free if you have Xbox Game Pass. Oh my god, how much? By the way, there's 19 pages. you guys. Now, a lot of that was the predictions thing where I wrote down what the thing was. That was like 4 pages. But there's... Let's see. Hold on. How many pages was that? I'll tell you. I'll fucking tell you. That was 6 of the pages. So there's still 13 pages of news. We gotta get through this. Also, I lost my place. Also, I burped. Also, that was smelly. Oh, okay. So it is confirmed. Dragon Age 4 rumors are true. Totally called it. BioWare teased it. Unfortunately, we didn't get much. It was just a voiceover and a reference to Solas, which was the mage, I think, in like the mage in Dragon Age. I'm pretty sure. It was like the elf guy. Yeah. So BioWare says, quote, the team has been hard at work exploring ways to push BioWare's storytelling to the next level. They've been saying that for a long time about this game. Rockstar said the same thing with Red Dead. I wonder if BioWare can back up their words like Rockstar did. Like, that's pretty freaking ambitious, you know, especially for the medium. I don't know. That's promising a lot. And, you know, they're talking about incorporating a little bit more online and whatever. I can't imagine. I mean, I said the same thing about Rockstar. Said the same thing about Red Dead. Like, how are they going to, you know, how do you push storytelling to the next level? Like, what else is there? You know, it's basically a movie. That's all you're doing. You're basically making a movie that is interactive. And they did it. But that's also Rockstar. But, you know, freaking BioWare... Look what they did with Mass Effect. That's BioWare. Yeah. Look what they did with Mass Effect. They completely fucked up Mass Effect. And they also didn't say that they were going to push storytelling to the next level with Mass Effect, but you get the point. And this just in. I wrote because I didn't want to go back and change how this part was already written up. According to VentureBeat, sources inside BioWare claim that Dragon Age 4 is still in the early stages of development, and we may not be seeing it until at least 2021. So that would actually answer all the questions that I just said. It is possible that they're going to do that, and yeah. It's going to be a while before we see that game, and they're going to probably put they're going to put Red Dead effort into it. That's what they're going to do. They're going to put the Red Dead elbow grease and making everything I just speculated on completely. Yeah. But I didn't want to go back and rewrite that section. So we got to go on a little adventure, the 2 of us, the 3 of us, the 4 of us. I don't know how many people are watching right now or listening. Actually, I do know our audio listeners we do have a pretty good following with audio listeners. I want to ask the audio listeners to do something real quick, because, you know, for one reason or another, you're not on the video thing. Send us an email right now. Pause it real quick. Downright Fierce Gaming. I always forget. God damn it. It's either Downright Fierce Gaming or Downright Fierce at hotmail.com. I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna check it for you. All right, because I want to make sure you email the right person. Oh, God damn it. That's the wrong one. Okay, hold on. I got this. Also, Josh says that's because they're struggling making Anthem. That is true that they paused Dragon Age development. They paused the Dragon Age development to work a little bit more on Anthem. That is true. But, I mean, still, that's a long time. And Andrew Kirkendall says, don't tell me what to do. I won't, Andrew. I promise. I promise. You don't tell a guy named Face Kicker, birth name Face Kicker, what to do. You don't. All others other than Andrew, downrightfierce@hotmail.com. Send me an email, and I wanna read your emails on the thing, because we got a couple a while ago, and I stopped asking friends out of town to write emails, so then we ran out of emails. All right, moving on. This one's weird. There's gonna be a Stranger Things game that is called Stranger Things 3. It's kind of weird how they're doing that. It is going to be directly tied to season 3, though, but that's confusing. The first thing I thought was, I'm like, they made 2 Stranger Things games? No, it's just tied to season 3. It's going to be a 16-bit co-op adventure game. Meh. That's what I wrote there. Meh. Meh. Eh. Whatever. If it's free. Another rumor confirmed, Mortal Kombat 11 was announced with a badass, disgustingly gory trailer. Wow. Not a big fan of Mortal Kombat games, but this trailer, holy crap. Amazing. Showed zero gameplay, but it still looked really fun. Well, I mean, the feel of the game looks fun because they're the gore guys and they're showing you that they know gore. So check it out. Also, it's coming. I don't know if I said this. It's coming out April 23rd, and it's coming to Switch. What? Hell yeah! Another awesome game to take on the go. Just saying. More details are coming out January 17th, and I'm gonna finish it. I'm not gonna finish it. I'm gonna drink more of this beer. That is alcohol free. That's why I had so little percentage. That's why. I was wondering, I'm looking at 0.5%. That doesn't sound right. I'm reading this wrong. Alcohol free. Well, at least I wasn't thinking I was getting buzzed. At least I wasn't sitting here going, "Yeah, guys, this beer is really good. I love you guys. You listeners give me breath between my wings. And you are gods to me." And another thing. It actually is really good, though. Surprisingly, for being alcohol free, this is the first non-alcoholic beer I've ever had in my entire life. It's not bad. It's actually not bad. I thought they were going to be way worse. I kind of like it, actually. If this is how all non-alcoholic beers taste, I think I might start drinking non-alcoholic beers because I like it. I can drink as many as I want. Okay, moving on. I don't know much about Fortnite. I'm learning how to floss. I'm getting kind of good at it. I don't know if you can see. And then I do that thing, and then I do that, and then I can do the flossing thing a little bit. That's about as much as I know about Fortnite. And I also now know that there's a new feature being added called the block. So from what I understand, Fortnite has a new creative mode that lets players create stuff. The block will feature hand-picked player creations and showcase them in the block. I think that's really cool, considering that there are millions of players playing Fortnite right now. To have your work featured in the biggest game in the entire world at the moment, that's pretty awesome. And it's nice to see that they're giving back to the community. I know it's not it doesn't sound like they're paying people, in fact, they're probably just taking advantage of people, but hey, I don't think that they'll care too much. The person who got handpicked, the entire world gets to see their creation. That's nice. Another thing we found out is who the first Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC character is going to be. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Joker from Persona 5. Okay. So, this may be reaching. Maybe. But, we're getting a Persona character on the Switch. Could we possibly eventually see some Persona games on the Switch? Maybe a Persona collection. Personally, I'd be excited to play through 4 again. Even if we just got 4, I'd be like, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I don't see why not. That's the thing. Okay, so with the Smash Brothers, I don't know the legal stuff, but I'm gonna do this and we're gonna move on because this is a long episode right now. You have the licensed character on the platform, so there's no exclusivity deal as far as the character goes, I guess. Maybe that's different from the game, but how long does PlayStation have that exclusivity deal? Also, would they be willing to share with a Nintendo? Because imagine, dude, those of you who like Persona like I do, getting all of them on Switches. Oh my god. Also, Chris Sand is in chat, and he says save the cheerleader because of my awesome beanie. My awesome beanie has the Heroes logo on it. And I find that so ironic, Chris, that you came when I started talking about Persona. That's fantastic timing, my friend. I'm just sitting here enjoying this alcohol-free beer talking about Persona. You know, what's funny is it's tasting worse now that I know it's alcohol-free. I said that I liked it, and I did, but yeah. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next giant list of announcements that came from Kind of Funny Games showcase. There were 60 announcements, but a lot of the games announced I personally just don't find exciting. They're little... they're indie games. They're little indie games, and some are non-indie games, but they look like indie games, and they just don't really look like my kind of game. I don't know. I know that they look like Jacob-ass games. Best way to describe it. It's a bunch of Jacob and Lewis-ass games, was sprinkled in with some Brandon games and 2 or 3 Lewis and Ariana games. You know. None of them, I can't say none of them, not too many of them look like Chris Stanton and Josh games. So, Super Meat Boy Forever. It's coming out April 2019 for Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. This one's cool. Celeste and Windjammers are getting physical releases early next year. Also, I don't know if I finished that original thought. I skipped a lot of the announcements. That's what I was saying with all that. That's what I was trying to get at with they didn't seem like very interesting games. I'm going to skip a lot of them. Okay. The next one is perfect for somebody who's like me, who's been wanting to jump into the series. Danganronpa Trilogy is coming to PS4 next year. It will include Danganronpa 1 and 2, Reload, Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. That's some Japanese-ass titles. And The Art of Danganronpa Trilogy. Also, Chris Stan says, I miss you. When are you moving back to America? That would be December 21st. I will be back in your country's loving arms, our country's loving arms, the 21st. I miss you too. It should have been you. That makes sense to nobody else. Next one is The Messenger is getting free DLC next year called Picnic Panic. There was a cinematic trailer for an upcoming strategy game called Conan Unconquered. Looks like a pretty fun real-time strategy game. And also, didn't I just say this? I feel like I just said this, like maybe a couple weeks ago or something, maybe before the honeymoon. I was saying we need to see more real-time strategy games, other than the Command & Conquer mobile game that's coming out. And then here we are. Real-time strategy game. Hell yeah. Chris also asked, when am I moving back to Jacksonville? Not happening, buddy. Sorry. I miss you, but not happening. And then my wife has a very good question as a retort. When are you moving to St. Pete, Chris? When are you moving to St. Pete? Tell you what you do, Chris. You take the boys, right? Put them in the car and be like, hey, we're moving. And they go, where? The best place in the world. And they go, yay! Best dad ever! And then we hide you in our garage. That's a good plan. There's a game coming out next year called Project Hardcore. This is the interesting thing. So the game didn't look that interesting. But this is a game that was supposed to come out in 1994. For the Sega Genesis, and that was canceled. I guess they recently picked it up and they're like, you know, finishing it or whatever. It's going to be a side-scrolling shooter. It looks fun. Just thought the story was interesting. All right, page 15 of 19. So much. Devolver Digital is coming out with a game called Ape Out that looks like an isometric Hotline Miami. Looks really cool. Look up the trailer. I want to play that one. All right, and that is actually the end of the game things, the games showcase. And now we go on to Fierce News. There's actually not that much Fierce News. The first story is, of course, my favorite story to come out this week. Earth Defense Force 5 came out, and it got good reviews, and you should check it out. You should check out Earth Defense Force 5. If you have a PlayStation, you should get it. It's a lot of fun, and it got good reviews, and I'm so excited to play it. The next thing is Counter-Strike Global Offensive, also known as CSGO, is now officially free to play on PC and Mac. They've also added, surprise, surprise, a new Battle Royale mode. It is significantly smaller than other Battle Royale games, though, and it only has 16 players at a time, which... That's not even Battle Royale. That's not even Battle Royale. You know who did that before all the Battle Royale games? Rainbow Six. Rainbow Six had the exact same thing, and it was with Vegas. I think they introduced it with Vegas. You know, you die, and then you're dead for the rest of the round. Like Siege. Like, that's not Battle Royale. No. Andrew Crocodile says, pass. I pass too, sir. I'm good. I mean, I'll probably download it just so I have it on my library, but that's it. Not download it. I will, you know, add to library. I always do that. I have this irrational fear that they're eventually going to, like, they're going to make it go from free to not free. They're going to, like, change their mind one day. Like, hey, I know we made this game free, but we want $5 now for it. So, and I know that's happened in the past, but still. So here's something I never thought I'd say. For those of you who follow gaming news, this is going to be the most mind-blowing news ever. Below is going to be released for Xbox One and Steam in 4 days. What? Below is coming out. So, okay, so this game was revealed at E3 2013. It's an action-adventure roguelike. Look up gameplay footage. It's very hard to describe the appeal of this game, but it just, there's something about it. It looks really, really fun. It looks dope. The visuals look really fun. They go for this, they want you to feel really, really small. So, like, it's these giant, you know what? Just look it up. Look it up. If you haven't heard it below, look it up. Another thing is, people have been able to play it behind closed doors have all said, like, it is an amazing game. And nobody thought it was coming out. And now, all of a sudden, it's coming out in 4 days. Crazy. All right. Oh, my God. I get so tired. There's so many things to talk about. Oh, my God. I just want to stop. It's time for Josh's Conspiracy Theory Minute. That's the theme song. So here's the story. Recently, it was discovered through a code dump, which I'm sure Mark knows, and I don't know what that is, a code dump of the place. Actually, is that? I think I might know what that is. Of the PlayStation Classic, that there... Okay, let's try the sentence again. Recently, it was discovered through a code dump of the PlayStation Classic that there were a list of games tested on the micro console, but were not included. So, first I'm going to go through the list, and then I'm going to give my conspiracy theory. Here's the list. Chocobo's mysterious... Sorry. Andrew Crocodile says JFK isn't dead. He's living with Elvis in Tucson. Chocobo's Mysterious Dungeon, Colin McRae Rally, Crash Bandicoot, Crash 2, Toy Story 2, Driver, Airgies, EHRGEIZ, Airgies, Fighting Force, Gran Turismo, GTA 2, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Kagero, Clona, Kula World, Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, Medal of Honor, Medieval, Mega Man Legends, Mr. Driller G, Paka Paka Passion. I don't know what that is. I don't know what some of these other ones are either. Power-Up the Rapper, Parasite Eve, Raystorm, Ridge Racer, Silent Hill, Spec Ops, Stealth Patrol, Street Fighter Alpha 3, Street Fighter X plus Alpha, Suikoden, Tomb Raider, Tomb Raider 2, Toomba, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, Vagrant Story, Wild Arms 2, and Exvius 3D/G+. I think some of those are Japanese games. All right, so here's what I think. I think we just got a glimpse at Sony's wish list for the PlayStation Classic. I think they set a release date. This is what I said before, and people didn't agree with me. I'm standing by this. I think they set a release date and gave us a list of games that they knew for sure that they had. They're like, okay, we know we got these games. Then, based on pre-sale numbers and licensing cost, they could approach the developers and say, hey, we'll give you this much, put your game on a little console, We tested it. It works. These are the games that they wanted to make sure that they could actually get running on an emulator console, which is essentially what this is. It's not an actual little PlayStation. They had to make an emulator console. So these are the games that they wanted to work on that, and that they would need to know it could work on it before they approach the developer. You can't be like, oh, hey, Final Fantasy VII, Square Enix. I don't know why I had to put the Final Fantasy VII in there, but, can we put your game on there? Yeah, sure, go for it. Oh, fuck, dude, it doesn't work. My bad. No, I think they tried the games that they wanted to put on there first, and then that's their wish list. That's just, for one reason or another, these games didn't make the cut, and that's what I like to believe happened. Moving on, THQ. Oh, is this the last one? Yes. I'm so tired, you guys. THQ. I like doing the podcast. I really do. I'm doing the podcast on my honeymoon. Obviously, I love doing the podcast and talking to you guys. But this was a really long news week. I spent, like 2 hours? 2 hours or something. Maybe not 2 hours. Maybe like an hour and a half or something writing the news. Just writing it. And now we're at an hour and 8 minutes. So, I'm tired. Okay. THQ Nordic has announced that it has acquired... Oh, and I forgot to move this. I was going to go into this one earlier because this is not that exciting news. It's acquired the Carmageddon franchise from Stainless Games. So if you don't remember what Carmageddon was, it was like Crazy Taxi and Twisted Metal. I was going to say they should reboot the franchise, but it turns out they did that in 2015. It was called Carmageddon Reincarnation, and it was pretty bad. So what could they be planning to do with it? I don't know. I got no answers, which is why that shouldn't have gone last. There, that is. Okay. Before we end the show, talk about what I've been playing. Into the Breach is amazing. Go get it now. Also, I beat Smash Brothers. That was also amazing. If you have a Switch and you don't have Smash Brothers, you need to get on it. Get on it. Get a fucking Smash Brothers. It's really good. And I have the Joker DLC downloaded. I still just got to load it up, but I'm going to play that one. And what else have I been playing? Oh, I got the DLC. Oh, that's right. Oh, my wife brought up this puzzle game that we've been playing. Actually, I'm sure a lot of people who are, follow the game's stuff, whatever, know about it. It's Snipper Clips. That's a really fun game. Seriously, if you slept on Snipper Clips, yeah, that's what it's called. Get it. In fact, Kristan, I know, if you're still listening, that you got a... Don't think I'm supposed to say anything. Kristan, but if you... Snipper Clips... It's a good game. But Legend of Zelda, there's some DLC that came out, and I've been messing around with that. And if you're wondering if the DLC for Breath of the Wild is worth it, it is. Cool. But yeah, mostly Into the Breach. That's been that's kind of taken over my life right now. Oh, and Honeymoon, of course. And Pokemon Go. Oh my god. So much fun. And with that, that is it, you guys. I made it. I got through it. I didn't die. Thank you so much for watching. We do live recordings every Sunday. Nope. Sometimes we're going to shoot back for Sundays again. We're going to go for Sundays. It's complicated. I'm traveling right now. Things happen. It's every Sundays, and we're going to shoot for 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday. You can watch that on facebook.com/downrightfierce. Oh, yeah. Oh, and my wife, this just in, will be in Egypt next Sunday. So 1 more hour. No? Is it a 1 more hour in advance? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Every Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, facebook.com/downrightfiercegaming, youtube.com/downrightfiercegaming, or twitch.tv/drfpodcast. You can listen to all our audio episodes every Monday on iTunes, Podbean, Google Play, and Stitcher. I will try to release that tonight. It's tonight here for me, afternoon probably for you. Yeah. Oh, please leave reviews and stuff for us on audio if you feel like it. If not, then don't. You don't have to. Another thing you don't have to do, but if you want to, you can go and buy a t-shirt at teespring.com/downrightfierce. Or you can go onto our Patreon page, patreon.com/downrightfiercegaming, where you get all of our exclusive content 1 week earlier, and you also get thanked at the end of the episode. So we want to thank Mark Mayfield. Thank you very much, Mark Mayfield. We want to thank Tristan Haynes. Gracias, Tristan Haynes. We want to thank Brian Altano, Damon Hadfield, and MC Lars for letting us use their music. We also want to thank our executive producers, Brian Kismetsky, Carolina Jarvis, and Andrew Facekicker Kirkendall. I did it. And I didn't realize the laptop moved so much. Now it's centered. Okay, let's start over again. New show. All right, good night, everybody. See ya.